know that not every law is just. I do know our country and our state have in the past made laws that favor some folks over others. An existing law, House Bill 56, as well as the extensive and complicated federal immigration laws, cannot be justified simply by saying it's the law. If we unthinkingly play the law and order card, we imply that anyone questioning the fairness or effectiveness of a law is soft on crime, which is to play upon people's fears. I am a pastor. I'm no economist. I hear some folks claiming that non-citizens are taking jobs from citizens using our resources, evading taxes, but others persuasively explain migrant workers are doing jobs others in Alabama will not do, are creating new jobs, are paying taxes. They say there is a net economic benefit to having immigrants living and working in Alabama. I haven't done the math, but I do know that in hard economic times, people often look for a scapegoat on whom to pin the problems, which is often done by blaming a minority group, which is to play upon prejudice. I'm a pastor. I am no politician. But I know that once upon a time in the state of Alabama, Jim Crow laws were making it legal to mistreat another person because of his or her race. Some politicians in our state, past and present, have pandered to racism in order to position themselves as the protectors of, and here's the code word, our way of life. I'm a pastor. I represent no political party. I'm no pollster or policy wonk or rhetorician advising politicians on how to frame the immigration issue. But I do know there are folks on both sides of the aisle who are paid to do just that. According to an article titled How the Right Made Racism Sound Fair and Changed Immigration Politics, we learn, quote, in the decade since the September 11th attacks, there has been a steady increase in the language that frames unauthorized immigrants as a criminal problem. References to illegals, illegal immigrants, aliens, and their rhetorical variants now dominate the speech of both major political parties as well as news media coverage of immigration, end quote. Thank you. This trend is evident in a recently televised interview with one of our state legislators. He explicitly named the, quote, threat of terrorism while discussing the immigration law in Alabama, maybe hoping his audience would associate their feelings for migrant workers in Alabama with the terrorists of 9/11. He speculated on the number of immigrants who might be violent criminals. He complained that, quote, very large liberal groups from out of state are opposing House Bill 56, which sounds similar to me to charges segregationists once used against outside agitators. And in this legislator's assurance that Alabama is taking the lead in the nation's headlines on immigration, I heard the echo of the old battle cry for states' rights. I am a pastor. That coded language concerns me I'm actually less concerned about laws that are on the books than about the laws written upon the human heart, to use an image from the book of Jeremiah, chapter 31, verse 33. I believe within the human heart there is a universal law of love, and it should be the source of all other laws. Of course, we need objective, effective laws for protection and fairness. Specific to this topic, we need legal reforms to support a logically consistent and comprehensive and just policy regarding our national borders. But the public discourse and the political rhetoric on the topic of immigration in Alabama is charged with fear and prejudice. Where is the compassion? Where is the faith? I want to believe our leaders are not using this issue to grandstand. I want to believe that House Bill 56 was founded upon the genuine desire to protect Alabamians, and I appreciate that impulse, but an intention to defend some cannot start by offending others. We can fool ourselves sometimes into thinking we're doing something out of love for those for whom we bear responsibility, when in fact fear or ego may be the driving emotion. Or selective love for one group of people, which is really prejudice, not love. Defending my rights, property, safety, and freedom does not have to come at the expense of kindness to strangers, appreciation for difference, and compassion for the most vulnerable. I'm a preacher, not a political speaker. So I remind you that Jesus, who's at the core of my faith tradition, said the greatest commandment, the most important law in his tradition, was love. Jesus, who was not a legal citizen of the Roman Empire he inhabited, whose parents illegally crossed a border into Egypt to save their baby, who continually traveled as an adult into different territories, who was eventually executed as a criminal, this Jesus urged his followers to start from a place of love. If we have made laws grounded in genuine love for all, everything else will follow. Let us repeal fear and prejudice. Que el amor de Dios sea con ustedes. Gracias.